Hello, my name's Gary Schotten, and I'm here in my machine shop in the USA, and I hope that you're enjoying these teachings, Inspiring Better Business. Today we're going to talk about the word relationships, and I'm going to talk about it in a way that gives you a bit of a definition like I want to use it, and then I'm going to share how relationships are important in at least 4 different areas of the business, certainly with the employee, with the customer, with the vendors, and then with your bank or your financial institution. So you need to have and develop and create good relationships over and over and over again if you're going to have any hope of being successful in the business world. Well, first of all, relationships. Well, the base word is relate. Can I relate to people? You know, when I hear and talk to somebody, like a definition, if I can relate to them, I can hear from them, I can understand where they're coming from, I can put myself in their position. In other words, I would be able to basically rearrange the situation so I'm sitting at their chair and they're talking to me on the same subject. I'm able to relate to them. Let's talk about the realities of relating to your employees. Boy, is that so important. I've seen people and I've heard of situations where the boss has no idea anything about their employees. They are absolutely treating their employees as if they're a piece of equipment, a number, no personal involvement at all. I don't think that's going to take you very far in this day and age. I've heard of some former Russian bloc countries where they talked about the boss or the owner. They drove around in a black car with black tinted windows and they rolled the window down about that far and looked out. That is not what we're talking about. We're talking about building relationships. There's a limit to knowing too much, I think, about your employees, because I like to separate the business world from personal life. I don't go digging into everybody's personal life. I'm not their personal counselor. I don't try to solve all their personal problems. I have enough on my hands just to provide them a great work environment. I will tell them that if they will produce a good work habit and create steady income, a lot of their other personal issues will melt away, marital or children or even physical, if you have a good solid employment, and we can provide that. Well, in my case, I'm not the one that writes the checks and signs the checks and hands out the checks every week. So I have a little trouble even knowing who's working for me. We have 60 employees, and we've had 17 new employees in this last 12 months. So I have to work at and write down and know their name. To me, that's part of a relationship. If I have 60 people working for me, shame on me if I don't know their name. Now, it may take me a couple times. I've created a little game about it. I tell the new employees, I shake my hand, shake their hand, I greet them and say, hey, I'm so glad you're a part of our company. They've already watched a video of introduction from me, so that's how I make sure everybody has an original welcome, because they watch a video similar to this. But personally, that's different watching a video than me walking up and say, hey, tell me your name. Tell me a little bit about yourself. Let me tell you a little bit about me. And then shaking their hands and telling them, hey, I'm glad you're here. Let me know if there's anything I can do to make things better. That's what I do. But after that first introduction, I figure I better know their name. So I tell them, now, if I can't remember their name, it costs me $1. And I joke with them. I'll see them a couple days later, and I say, man, I forgot your name. Here comes $1 out. Tell me your name. And I joke with them a little bit because I hate to spend that extra $1, you know. And they get a kick out of that because they know I'm not perfect. I'm going to forget their name, but I'm working on it. Know their name. Your customers. What about your customers? Well, we're not looking for making a job or an order or one pair of shoes. If you're selling shoes, in my case, I sell these parts back here, and we have relationships with our customer. In my case, I don't have other salesmen but myself, because for me in this business, this would not work for every business, but in this business, I don't really need a third person in the middle between myself and the customer. I have a relationship with them, and I meet with them on a regular basis. That could be once a month. That could be once every other week. Sure, I talk with them. Sure, I email them. In one case, they're quite a ways away, so I only meet with them about once every 3 months or every 4 months, and that's fine. But I make sure my customer knows that I'm listening to them, that they can always call me. I have my cell phone on my business card. They can call me, and when they call me, I'm going to respond. They know that I'm going to take responsibility, and responsibility means the buck stops with me. I'm not going to make a bunch of excuses. I'm going to tell them, hey, we didn't do exactly what we wanted in this particular case, but here's the steps we're taking to make sure that doesn't become a habit. We build relationships with them. Once again, I want repeat customers. I want ongoing relationship. I don't want just one job. And we try to match our customers with who we are. There's many people that we start or think about doing work for, and we just have to tell them, you know, we're not actually a good match for you. Let me help you find another supplier other than myself that would be a better match for you. I'll never see that customer again. But it's good business to build relationship with anyone we're in touch with. Vendors. Vendors are who you pay for what they provide for you. Usually it's everything in our case from metal to the cutting tips that make the parts here, to supplies for the office, whatever it is. I think the number one thing in a relationship with a vendor is pay them on time. Don't stretch them out. Make sure that you know how your limits are and that you have well in mind their financial well-being. If they supply a part, supply to you, then you're obligated to pay them, and pay them on time. Maybe it's not perfect, but at least communicate with them. I found years ago when I was in the moving and storage business that I came to a point that I actually couldn't pay my bills on time. You know what I did? I started communicating with them. I didn't hide from them. I didn't ask my wife to call them. I didn't ask the receptionist to tell them a little fib. I called them up and say, listen, I am responsible for that bill. At the moment, I'm not actually able to make that check right now, but I am doing everything I can, and I will keep in touch with you on a regular basis until we take care of that. That's relationship. Now, currently, I'm able to pay my bills quite on time because I have a better business, and yet there's times that I need to build relationships with my vendor. I want to be known in town as a company that pays my bills. Let me talk about another one. Your bank. Wow. We're in a world where banks are changing employees all the time, and I actually bank at one. I bank with the same individuals for more than 30 years because I want a relationship with them. I want them to trust me. I want them to know that I listen to them. I want them to know that I feel responsible to them. And if they say no, I don't get all mad. I think they're on my side. They're in this with me as a team. Why would I press them to loan me money when they don't think I can pay it back? I need to be able to convince them. And so I'm never mad at my banker or financial institution. I may not like it. I may be a little disappointed, but I go back to the shop and I figure out what I'm going to do to make things better. Most of the time, if I can't pay my bills, I'm growing too fast. So I need to trim back. I need to grow a little slower. I need to be cut something off that's not profitable. That's my finding. Well, in conclusion, you know, this whole process is we're people to people in all four of these areas. Sometimes you'll hear a business say that we're business to business. That's one, my business selling to another business. Another time you'll hear it called, that's B2B. Sometimes you'll hear it called B2C. That's a business to a customer. Well, in my terminology, all four of these were people to people all the time. They're not a company. They're not obscure. People are people, and we're dealing with people, not big organizations. Thanks for listening. Please let us know if there's anything we can help you with. If you have some suggestions on topics you want us to speak on, we're happy to listen to those and help out inspiring better business. Thank you.